you still typically have to go through the search engines because you're just not going to get any eyes. So if you own 25 landing pages about knitting and you want to sell advertising on those pages, the only way you're going to get traffic is either through email or search engines. And search engines are the most effective way. Again, you're married to their pricing. So you pay a lot of money for placement costs and ads on the search engine, and then you finally get money once they hit your website or look at your ad. You net the difference, but again, it's unpredictable. So advertising before Kynetx, it's a limited placement and network, and you're pushed through very few doorways. It's expensive to create an advertising model right now on the web, and you get minimal responses. I've got several graphs that I'm going to jump through here, and I'm going to be quick about it because I really want to get to the point where we are creating our own business model. This basically just shows that all the money is concentrated at the top with advertising. Basically that cartel idea again. Here you can actually see how it splits out by the type of ad that's being sold, and this is by revenue. So search, as you can see, is huge. Banner ads are second only at 22%. And then the rest is just peanuts, basically. This is a really interesting graph, though, and I hope you have this on your thumb drive, and if you're going to get ready to do your own business model in advertising, pull this graph out, because it's going to show you holes where there's opportunity. So search is growing, and it's huge. And after what we've seen, what Kynetx can do, you can take a piece of that pie. There's an opportunity there. Classifieds is shrinking. You may want to ask why and figure out a better mousetrap for classifieds. Sponsorship, same thing, dropping off completely. Why are they dropping off? Is there a product or service you can do better to replace that function? Okay, so let's start thinking about business models. What if you weren't beholden to doorways or locations? What if you could create new ad inventory that had no boundaries? And what if you could charge below the market price, i.e. the cartel, with big margins? I'm all going to sell you on advertising today. I just think that that's such a great model. Here is an ad example of that. This is a local shopping ad that uses local merchants to advertise. Okay, so here's the revenue streams on this model.
Kristen, your mic just went off.
Yes, went off.
It did?
Yeah.
Looks on. Sorry, guys. I'm better with the handheld. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. So what we've sold through this app is, number one, percolation, and I'm charging something for that, and I hope it's a pretty penny. And if I were to pay for it on Google, you know, it could be between $1.50 and $9. So I probably want to price it below that, but I'm still making plenty of money with that price. Then I'm also charging for the additional graphics, because one of the great things about what Kynetx can do is basically place anything on any page. So I can have content-rich search results show up. And I, as the advertiser, the app creator, can charge for that. Now, if you're like Danny DeBay and a fantastic graphic designer, you can also charge for the graphics and layer that revenue on top of it. Then, this is a word I want you to write down, multiplier. There's a multiplier in this business model. And that is that I can take all those fees and multiply them out by keyword. So, this merchant may have bought the keyword used cars from me, but I might have 1,000 other keywords. Can you see how the revenue streams start to add up with this? And this is one example and one placement. I can also do AdWord sales on search engines like Yahoo, again with rich content. I can place advertising, buy buttons, whatever I want on a variety of websites across the web, maybe that all have the word used cars in their meta tags. And that'd be a really easy rule to write. And suddenly, I've got a whole channel of advertising that I can sell into. So what happens there? Oh, here's the other great thing about this model, is in typical ad banner models, what's your click-through? What are you getting when you place an ad banner? 0.5%? Why? Because you're doing that. You're spitting into the wind, basically. With this model, I have highly qualified customers who ask for this information. Seth Godin says that a permissioned ad will get 2 to 3 times the response. We haven't really fully tested this model. This is not only permissioned, but I have an app sitting inside my desktop or my browser. I can't wait to see what the response rate is for this. So you could take those revenue streams, multiply them by keywords, then multiply them by the fact that you've got a qualified customer. And I hope that you're all starting to kind of see why I'm so excited about this and how much money you can make using these kinds of tools. Again, you're not beholden to the funnel. You're actually making money at every touch point. One of the reasons I'm glad that Dave taught the endpoint class yesterday is I think endpoints are going to be important for your business models. You can actually communicate the same kinds of things across a series of endpoints and charge for each one or charge for the full layer of communication. So one of the beauties about Kynetx is you can have a lean and lucrative business. You become the landlord of your own web inventory. You can charge for placement, which you cannot do now in the cartel. Then you can work a variety of layered pricing models around that: CPC, CPM, signups, cost per acquisition. And your pre-qualified leads are going to make you a very valuable advertiser for people to come buy your service. Okay, so now I would like us as a group to think through a business model together. So when I go to create a business model for a client, these are the questions I ask. Number 1, where is my community of customers coming from? Do I have connections with partners who already have a community of customers? Danny, for example, gave a really good example of Skull Candy. He knows that Skull Candy has groupies. So he wanted to sell into this sort of prepackaged community of customers. Or do I want to build it myself? If I build it myself, it might be a little bit more expensive, but they're mine. So that's the first decision. What's the value I'm delivering for the opt-in? One of the value props that Danny and I talked about at one point with Skull Candy is giving free MP3s, free music for every opt-in. I'd opt in for a free piece of music. It might be discounts, it might be information, it might be just, I love Skull Candy and I want to be part of the community. So let's think through, as we're going through our model together, what's the value we're going to deliver? Then what is going to be our disruption? What will we do better than anyone else? Is it going to be service, product, distribution, not sexy but really valuable, pricing, context? And we want to pay attention to moving up the supply chain too. That's a really good way to disrupt technology. How do we want to charge? Then can I layer the revenue or deliver multiple layers of service? And are there multipliers here in our business model? So the business model we're going to work on together. Oh wait, hang on one sec. I'm going to give you a list of pricing that I go through too when I'm creating a business model for a client. Does a one-time fee fit? Subscriptions, preferred placement fees, listing fees, usage fees, sign-up fees, lead generation, clicks, conversion, tons of options. And you can layer those options and make more and more money. Is there a multiplier? I always ask that. Can I combine pricing? Is there a premium tier? So these are all packaging decisions. Where can I compare my pricing against someone else's, still make margin, and be the winner in that market? So that's a little bit about my thinking when I go to create a business model. Now, we're going to create a business model together. NASCAR. NASCAR is the most highly productive sport in the United States in terms of sponsorship and consumer purchasing. So what I mean by that is, if you sponsor with NASCAR, your conversion rate coming off of that sponsorship is higher than any other sport. NFL, NHL, baseball, none of it turns as well as NASCAR. So today, we're going to think through a NASCAR